New sales reps, existing sales reps, missing out on deals. Don't worry, I have missed out on some myself. Better way to actually solidify a close is creating a sense of urgency. What I mean by a sense of urgency is basically, listen, there's a cost if you do not do this today. Whether it's going to cost you some more failed attempts, it's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you more money in the end. You want to create a sense of urgency for them that lead to actually move across the finish line. And the best way to create a sense of urgency without just being blatant is you want to tell a story. I had a lead that I just closed yesterday. And once I was able to identify that they had a fear-based objection and they kind of wanted to hold off, I had to let them know like the cost of them holding off. And I shared a story. I once owned a vehicle and this vehicle used to cut off, but the vehicle eventually would cut back on. Now, the vehicle just happened to cut off and it had to be left on the side of the road. In order for me to get it towed to where I wanted to get it towed to, it cost me $180 originally. But I knew eventually the car would cut back on. I also knew that if it stayed here in this spot for too much longer, the patrol people would come pick it up and then the price would essentially rise. Now, I decided to wait because I just felt like the car was gonna cut back on. When I got back to the car 3 days later, the car was gone. I identified that the car had got towed by the patrol people. What I didn't want to happen, all because I waited. Now, to get that car towed out of there, it cost $380. Now, mind you, the car will not crank. So essentially, I went from paying $180 to $308 to now still having to pay another tow person to tow it to the actual destination that I needed to get to in the first place. So we're talking about it went from $180 to now paying over $475, all because I waited. You see where I went with that? Create a sense of urgency and you will close the deal. Tap in.